Good morning, ladies. It is me, Rolande. So this morning I wanted to talk to you about identifying your target audience. And I wish somebody would have told me this early in my first business, because it's tricky and your business doesn't move forward unless you actually identify the one person you're going to talk to. So if you haven't identified your target audience, this is how you know. One of your phrases will be, I want to help everybody. You don't want to do that. You want to have as large a reach as you possibly can, but you want to talk to one person. So if in your brain, and it's natural to feel like, well, I don't want to cut off my money-making potential. I don't want to leave any money on the table. I want to help everybody. That is too broad of a scope. Think of it this way. You go to a doctor and you start off by seeing your PCM, and your PCM is covered by your insurance, and you pay your copay or whatever. But when you go to your PCM, you have a specific problem. And they direct you to a specialist. When they direct you to the specialist, you go to the specialist, and they may or may not take your insurance. That's one thing. And their copay, if they do take your insurance, is a little bit higher. But you don't mind because they specialize in that one area. So say, I'll give you a personal example, right? I have fibromyalgia. So I went to the VA, and she directed me to a rheumatologist. And the rheumatologist specializes in whatever is going on with that particular ailment. I would rather speak to the rheumatologist than my PCM, because when I explain my symptoms and what's going on, they have a better understanding of that issue, of that problem. You are the specialist. Okay, so only certain people will come to talk to you about that specific problem, about that void you are filling, about that issue you are solving. Only specific people will come to you. And because you are your subject matter expert in that specific issue, in that specific problem, to that specific person, you are now worth more than a generalist. Okay, so your talents and skills have a higher value, because if you go to the generalist, they know a little bit about everything, but they can't get down to that microscopic view of that specific skill and task. So they will always have to refer people out to other people because they don't specialize in anything, and therefore they are not as valuable to that audience member or to that client or to that patient. You are a doctor and a specialist in what you do. And so you need to speak to the one person who needs you to solve the issue for them, who needs your expertise, who needs to speak to you about one specific problem that you solve. Now, you can solve that one specific problem in a myriad of ways. And you can also help support them in other ways, as long as it helps them with that one specific issue. You can diversify, but at the end of the day, you are a specialist. You are a brain surgeon. You will not go to your PCM for brain surgery, would you? So knowing that you are a brain surgeon in whatever specific niche that you fill, who is the one person you would speak to? You'll speak to somebody with a brain issue who needs brain surgery, or some, neurological issue that your specialty covers. Okay? You're not going to speak to somebody who wants to have everything fixed. You'll speak to the one person who you can help. Sorry, being nosy. So what you should do is sit down and write out all of the details of your soulmate client. And that client or customer You need to speak to one person. What is her specific age? Don't give me an age range. What is her age? Is she 40? Is she 25? Is she 16? What is her age? What is her race? It's okay to point out her race. That doesn't mean you're racist or you're counting out anybody, but you need to speak to one person, and she has a race or he has a race. Are they biracial? Are they black? Are they white? Are they Chinese? What is their race? It's okay to say it. Is that person married? And I say she because my soulmate client is a she. Is she married? Is she divorced? Is she widowed? Is she bisexual? What is her sexuality? Is she homosexual? Pansexual? Does she have children? Is she in a blended family? Does she have pets? What is her financial status? What is her combined income? What is her individual income? What is her educational background? Does she serve in the military? Does she not serve in the military? Does she go to an HBCU? Write all of this down. What does she like? What does she not like? When you first write it down, if you never explored this, it's going to be confusing because you're like, I don't know. I don't know who she is. I don't know. And when you don't know and you have no idea who you're going to serve, it is easier to turn to yourself and talk to yourself if your product and or service fits you. It's okay to turn to yourself and say, I am my target audience, and start basing your target audience off of you until you find a person who fits that mold. But you need to find one person to speak to. First, I tried to serve everybody. And then I tried to serve a whole nother demographic that had nothing to do with me. I didn't even know how to talk to them. I just thought that was supposed to have been the demographic I was going to serve. This isn't my skincare products. Then I got tired of nobody listening, because that's what's going to happen. Nobody's going to listen to you because you're going to be trying to talk about everything that's not really related, and folks are going to be confused about what you're even talking about, and if you even know what you're talking about. So then I moved on to, I finally broke down and was like, fine, I'll talk to me, an African American woman veteran. And I was resistant to do that first because I didn't want people to only think I serve black people or black women. I wanted everybody to work with me. I didn't want to feel pigeonholed, like, oh, well, you can only work with these people. You just only do that. Now, our community is lucrative. We have a lot of money in our community, but the way society is, I was afraid I was going to get pigeonholed, and all of the other potential business I could have gotten would be turned away because I decided to just focus on me. Because if you think about it, you don't see a lot of our faces out there. It's becoming more prominent, but it's still a hurdle that we climb. But I'm telling you, ladies, as soon as I embraced speaking to me, an African American woman veteran, I swear to goodness, it's like the clouds went away and like the floodgate opened up, and now more people were interested. Now more people of all kinds of backgrounds were interested. It was weird how it happened. I was like, oh, okay. And I wasn't pigeonholed. I had more interest. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So when I started this business, I had already been talking to my audience for like a year by that time. And so I just rolled that audience over to my coaching. And it's been wonderful with coaching because there's a need for us to get out there, an African American women veteran, to speak to other African American women veterans about the transition out of the military into entrepreneurship. I say all of that to tell you is it's okay to start with you, because you know you best. You know who you are, you know what you like, you're comfortable with you. And then you can grow that into more details that incorporate other things from other people in your audience. One of the ways I was able to get my audience involved is I started doing interviews. My audience intrigues me. I want to know more women veteran entrepreneurs. So I started to interview more women veteran entrepreneurs. They were in my target audience. They brought their own audiences to listen in, even if they didn't follow it right away. It was a while before I learned that their audiences were actually paying attention. They were just stalking me before they said anything, which was cool. I didn't know that at the time, but it was a great way for me to get in with my target audience. And to this day, I still talk to them. I still interview them because I'm still intrigued. Does that make sense? So if you don't know, start off with yourself and let it blossom. Now, I feel like, look, what I serve and what I do has nothing to do with me. I'm just really passionate about serving this community and doing X, Y, and Z. Pick one person who you know and let that person be your target. Listen to what they have to say. Listen to their gripes. You know, learn more about them, because learning about your soulmate client it's like writing a book. It never ends. You're constantly trying to learn about them, just like you're constantly trying to learn about yourself. So start off by writing down all the details of that one specific person. Trust me, choose one person and learn everything about that one person. Talk to that one person. Show that one person all over your media. All over the place. Everywhere. If you notice on my marketing, I have African American women. I say they're veterans because women veterans look different outside of uniform. We have kinky hair, we have straight hair, we have long hair. We're doing all kinds of wonderful things. You know, when we get out of uniform, we have long pink nails and we do all kinds of stuff. And so that's who I show, because I want more of her to understand that I'm here for her. And I'm no longer afraid to go into that space, because now I know I'm not cutting myself off. I just open the floodgates for more. Okay, so do that. Focus on your one target audience. Even if you're not selling anything now, your business isn't open, that's the best time to start talking to your target audience in your social media, on your blog. Start talking to them a lot, often, frequently. You know, if you have a blog, you need to post at least once a week. If you have social media, depending on the platform, you need to post several times a week. And some platforms like Twitter, you got to post several times a day. Choose one platform and start talking to your audience constantly. They'll start to follow you. Even if they don't click follow or like, they'll start to pay attention to you and just stalk you and wait you out. And then when you start to put out actual products and actual items, they're going to be more interested in what you have to say, because they've been watching you that whole time. They was just curious. So I hope this helped. I want you guys to have a beautiful, beautiful Wednesday, and I love you.